Swami Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Skan BVD founder Acharya His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Vishnu Bhat Maham Samudraj Acharya Joshtha Dasrat Sri Samad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Anantagadi Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड धाम की जय। वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय। मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। अलाचवनी रमणीति धाम की जय। श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु सुभाविभाव महामहोत्सव की जय। Welcoming Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Gaur Purnima Festival ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Gaur Pramanandi. Hare Krishna. Thank you for all coming. Before we begin, we should always remember three personalities. Gante Arambe Kari Mangalacharan Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tiner Smaran. Tinam, three. And if you do these three remembrance every day, when you wake up, bow down, remember these three personalities. Not one or two, all three. Who is that? What is the result? Maybe that will motivate why you want to do it. Tine Smarane Hai Sarva Vigna Vinasa. Tine Smarane Hai Vigna Vinasan. Anayase Hai Nija Panchita Pura. Tine, so if you remember these three personality, then all your difficult will minimize. Sounds good? You wake up in the morning, you bow down to these three personalities, then you can think of them all day. So what's the first result? The challenges, obstacles will be minimized. And Anayase Hai Nija Banchita Puran. Banchita Puran means our goal is to absorb our mind in Krishna, Chaitanya, and engage our intelligence. These two things. When you do these two things 24 hours a day, you are called Rupanuga or Raganuga. Because Brajavashis, they are called Ragatmika. They are completely merged into thinking. Their mind fully absorbed and intelligent engaged. These two. Iste sarasiki raga parama vishtata bhavet ja bhavet maye bhakti saragatmika udita. Iste sarasiki raga. So we should remember first Guru, Vaishnava and Krishna. If we can remember them, then, and Prabhupada also said, don't chant Hare Krishna before chanting Panchatattva. Why? Why?
They're more merciful.
Huh?
They're more merciful. So the offense that you.
That's good. But why? What is the purpose of you chanting Hare Krishna? You want to see impact and effect? Yes? No? When you do things, you want to see the result, is it? In order to be affected, you have to invoke the mercy of Mahaprabhu, Panchatattva, and through their mercy we can change. So this way, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes that in the beginning, we should always think of our Guru, Vaishnava, and Panchatattva, and Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Radha Krishna. Then all our obstacles eventually will go down. We may think like sometime nothing happens in life, but then you become serious, then so many things happen in life. You wonder, you're going the wrong way or right way. When you water the Bhakti Lata, when you water the plant, what happens? Weeds. Where are they coming from? Where are the weeds coming from? They are all there in a seed form. They are just waiting for you to give the fertilizer and water, then they will come up. You follow? In our heart, we already have a lot of unresolved, unfulfilled desires. So when we become serious, they come out. Whatever Shastra says, I experience them. Oh, it's not pleasant. When you come out, then you can see it is not pleasant. But when you go through, you think that's normal, you should go for it. No. Don't go for it. So, today we are going to begin with together. Please fold your hand. This is a one verse. Hope you can, I can pray, then hope you can memorize this. This is the identity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? This one slow, enough. So much explanation. So you can say, Jat Advaita Brahma Upanishadi Tade Pasha Anubhav Ja Atmantar Jami Purusha Iti Saha Sansa Vibhava Sara Aishwarya Purna Jaiha Bhagavan Sa Sayam Ayam Na Chaitanyat Krishna Jagati Bharatattam Param Iha. We should chant 3 times, but at least 1 time. We will practice 3 weeks, then we memorize it. Yeah. This is in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 1, text 3. This is the identity began. Who is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Anything that you're looking around here, that all exists on a impersonal Brahman, Mahat Brahma exists. There are 4 Brahman, yes? Parabrahma, Supreme Lord. From his body, produce unlimited Nirvishesh Brahma, non-variegated. Then, by his sweet will, a little part of the Nirvishesh Brahma is covered by 3 modes, that's called Mahat Brahma. Then, Krishna's put all those souls are also Brahman into the womb of those Mahat Brahma. Haribol, we are here, the Mahat Brahmas. We are in a jail, prison. So this verse says that Jat Advaita Brahma Upanishadi Tadupashyatanubha Ja Atmantar Jami Purusha Sahasamsu Vibhava Sara Aishwarya Purna Bhagavan Ja Sayamayam Na Chaitanya Krishna Jagati Paradatta Paramiha. This is a beautiful verse that Jat Advaita Brahma Upanishadi. Whatever the Upanishad calls that impersonal Brahman, it's coming from the bodily rays. Toenails, fingernails, Nikila Sruti Mauli Ratnamala, Dhuti Niraj, the Pada Pankajanta. No, tip of the nails, toenails of Lord Chaitanya, unlimited Brahman coming. All the time. One time, Mother Sachi was seeing her son very nicely dancing on the court here. All of a sudden she saw all the effulgence coming out like a blazing fire. Can you imagine you seeing your son like this? You'll be scared. She started rubbing. What am I seeing? Something wrong with my son. She's thinking this is like, imagine like blazing torch, the fire coming out. So then Jogomaya covered it. So, okay, she didn't see anymore. So, Lord Chaitanya proved it. You follow? Lord Chaitanya proved it that he is the origin Brahman. That everything that existential potency, everything that exists. Other day we asked, how do you prove that you exist? Because you are aware. You are aware that you are in this house. We are having discussion of Lord Chaitanya. This awareness is a one way of. There are 3 ways to prove this. One way, that I'm aware, that I'm hearing. I can think, I can accept it. Isn't it? So this awareness is chief potency. So, Jad Advaita Brahma Upanishadi Tadupashyatanubha Ja Atma Antarjami. This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu right now is in the heart of every living being. As Paramatma. but it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like we are so close to Krishna, but we feel like million miles far away from Krishna. Why? Opposite direction. When you have two opposite opinion, you never find similarity. It's such uncomfortable. When a husband says something, wife says something opposite, they don't. It's like you live in a 1 million mile far away from each other. That's how it is. So that's how it is. If we are aligned with Krishna, then we can feel His presence within us and outside us. Jatmanta Jami Purusa Sahasangsudu. Shara Ishajya Purna Bhagavan Jasayam Ayam. All the 6 opulences possessed are 100% in that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we will discuss today how he exhibited that. Okay. Now you want a blessing? You want a blessing? So number 4, you should remember. This is not, I don't have a power to give blessing. I need blessing. But Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami is giving blessing. So please repeat after me. Anarpita Charim Chiraj Karunaya Avatina Kalau Samarpaitum Unnata Ujjala Rasam Sabhakti Sriyam Hari Purata Sundara Ruti Kadamba Sandipita Sada Hidaya Kandare Spuratu Vah Sachinandana. Beautiful verse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anarpita Charim Chirat Karunaya Vatirna Kalam Samarpaitum Unnata Ujjala Rasha Sabhakti Siyam Paripurata Duti Sundar Kadamba Sandipita Sada Hidaya Kandare Spuratu Va Sachinandana. So this is the Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, one of our Acharya. He is, before explaining about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is already giving blessing to us. How is giving the blessing? Who knows Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the most? Rupa Goswami Pad. Rupa Goswami Pad wrote this. Mahaprabhu did not like it because he got caught. That is Supreme Lord who came to give this love of God. So out of love, he gave like this. Rupa Goswami Pad. So Mahaprabhu said, how is that he knows everything about me? Sarup Damodar said, that means you gave all your blessing to him. Then Mahaprabhu asked everybody to give blessings. This is sweet. So I'll read the translation what Srila Prabhupada says. Very nice. Otherwise I have to break it. Very nice. May the Supreme Lord, who is known as son of Srimati Sachi Devi, be transcendentally situated in the innermost chamber. You touch your heart. Innermost chamber of your heart right now. Where is Mahaprabhu?
Inside our heart.
Our heart or your heart?
Our.
You can say your heart. Be personal first with Mahaprabhu. Then you can be our. In your heart, resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he has appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation ever offered before. What nobody ever offered before? What?
Love of God.
4 things. We'll discuss that. The most sublime and radiant mellows of devotional service, the mellows of conjugal love. How sweet. So after this, Vande Guru Padakandam Bhakta Vrinda Samannitam Sri Chaitanyam Prabhum Vande Nityananda Sahodhitam Sri Nandanandanam Vande Radhika Charanatayam Gopi Jana Samajuktam Vrindavana Manoharam. What the conception of God in this world we know. beside the Hare Krishna, beside the Gurus. What conception of? Exoteric, not esoteric. Exoteric is a when I need my doctor cannot fix the disease of my mother, I go to church or God. And because God can do something doctor cannot do. So he's like a little healer, like a big healer guy, healing guy. God is like a healing guy. When we are struggling, mind is disturbed, we pray to him. Why? He can remove our challenges, obstacles. So what we are talking about, concept of God, the order supply or something we can be relief. When you have a good time, you don't pray to him because you don't need. So the concept of God in the West, in India too, that when you need, then you feel his presence in your life. So you do something. But as soon as your desire is fulfilled, you get out. Sounds familiar? That's what Gyanis does, Karmis does. So, but the devotee, they should look the esoteric, not exoteric, esoteric. Esoteric means the Lord's private life. We want to become member of his private life. And this is what today's discussion. Let's see. So we had a first question is, I'm going to recite those verses in case if anybody ever challenges. Maybe in the West you don't have, but in India they do. They ask, where is the evidence? You know, in India or most of the world, they're familiar with Krishna, they're familiar with Ram. You go to any Hindu families, they more or less they know Ram, Krishna, but hardly they know Lord Chaitanya. It's the same personality plus more. When compassionate last limit of sweet love of Srimati Radharani added to Bhagavan, that form. Or you can say, when the absolute distribute himself to others, Chirat adattam nijagupta vittam, when absolute ready to give himself to others, that concept of God is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You follow? It is not that we are looking for him. He wants to give it to us, knowing that we are not even looking for it. He's trying to catch everybody. This is beautiful, Lord Chaitanya. But unfortunately, majority people in the world do not know Lord Chaitanya. They know more of Krishna, Ram. That's okay, but not enough. Because Lord Chaitanya came to give something no incarnation ever gave. Now somebody say, where is the proof? So I'm going to recite, I'm not going to talk so much, but I'll just give some reference. This is from also third chapter of Shvetashvatara Upanishad, or also Chaitanya Charitamrita. Second chapter has vast explanation of different, because there are a lot of people who wants reference from here, there. You have a reference from Mahabharata? Yes. We have a reference from Mahabharata, Lord Chaitanya's appearance. We have a reference from everywhere. So from Shruti, I'm going to quote one verse, just for the audience. Mahan Prabhur Vai Purusha Sattavesha Pravartakas Sunirmalam Imam Santi Mahasana Juti Rabba. The personality of God as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the translation of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur from Gauriya Kantaha. It has this verse. Is brilliantly effulgent, imperishable like molten gold. He is the supreme controller. He controls the mode of goodness, pure goodness. Through Sankirtan, bestows spiritual intelligence on the living being. In the guise of a sannyasi, is the source of spiritual purity and of liberation. He is therefore known as Mahaprabhu. This is from Shruti, Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Very nice, is it? And I have several others also from the Shruti. Now one from Smriti or Bhagavatam. What's the famous verse? Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishna. We all have to memorize this. Can you memorize that? Yes. Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishna. You write it down. 11.5.32. This is every Acharya comments. Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishna Sangha Pangasra Parshadam Jagge Sanketana Praye Jajanti Sumedasa. You heard that, no? Yeah. You hear this every Gaur Purnima. You will hear millions of people are telling that verse. Because this is from Bhagavatam, indirect. What is it? In this age of Kali, Krishna appears in a golden form, chanting the two syllable, Krishna. What is Krish? Cultivation. Krisha. Krish. Cultivation. What is cultivation? Birth, death, old age, disease. Now stops. Say everybody, Krishna.
Krishna.
Your birth, death, old age, finish. No more birth, death, old age. After this life, finish. Such a nice, isn't it? This is what Krishna. Krish also means all attractive. Krish also means existential, who is all attractive. But then you add na, anand, full of bliss. Wow. Existence with full of bliss. Like that. Krishna. So Krishna has a very meaning. So here, you can read this in Adilila 3.54 has an explanation, breakdown of each verse. Very quickly just answering and then we'll go some past tense. Another verse, this is from Itihas, history. What is the history? The Mahabharata. Subarna Barna Himangam Varanga Chandana Angadi Sannasakrit Samo Santa Nishcha Santi Parayaram. When Krishna appears at Lord Chaitanya, as his early pastime, his complexion is golden, Suvarna Barna. His limbs are color of molten white gold. Molten white. Oh, what is that? Very attractive. Amanga. His body is extremely beautiful. Varanga. He is decorated with sandalwood pulp. So those who only believe Mahabharata, there are a lot of Hindus, they only believe Mahabharata. For them, this is the verse. The Lord Chaitanya is the incarnation for this age and his sannyas form. And this is by our Goswami, Jiva Goswami. Very nice. I'm just giving one reference from each. History, Purana, Shruti, Smriti, all this reference. And this is from Goswami, Jiva Goswami, from Tattva Sandarbha 2. Anta Krishnam Bahir Gauram Darshati Agadi Vaibhavam Kalo Sanketana Adeshma Krishna Chaitanya Ashrita. I take shelter of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, thinking of himself. He is internally Krishna, blackish, but externally appears like gold complexion. That's very funny. After delivering Jagai Madai, so Mahaprabhu says, that was very, I took all their sin, and all of a sudden his body turned into bluish blackish. Everybody saw Krishna. So what happened? He said, I took all the sin of Jagai Madai. Of course, the Supreme Lord, it doesn't. But immediately, then of course later, after a little time, Mahaprabhu again turned into golden color. Because inside Krishna, bluish, blackish, and outside golden. So second question we ask, why is the knowledge of Lord Krishna, Chaitanya divinity mostly unknown? The first answer is, when nobody invites, nobody knows him. The second answer is, he is a Prachanda Avatar. This is 3.16.12. The discussion between Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Gopinathacharya. That Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, can you imagine? Can you imagine the Supreme God right in front of you, lying down, unconscious, he's in ecstasy. And two persons is arguing whether he's God or not. One is saying, he is a God. He said, no, I don't believe it. Just because 24 years took sannyas, 24 years old took sannyas. You say it looks beautiful, that doesn't mean God. It's a very nice, beautiful discussion. You should read in Madhya Lila chapter 6, beautiful discussion. Maybe one day we'll discuss. But here, the point is, Sarma Bhattacharya proved that in that conversation, the Dharmasyade Bhagavas Trijuga, Tribhishai, that in Kali Yuga, no incarnation. But then Gopinath Acharya says, no, there is incarnation, it's covered. Do you know any pastime that actually Mahaprabhu says, I am God? Very rare. Very rare. If somebody even confront, you are the Supreme Lord, he immediately closes his ear. See Vishnu, don't say like this. I'm just an ordinary living being. We just read in Chaitanya. Mahaprabhu covered himself. When Krishna came, he declared who he is. He shown universal form to Arjuna. Yeah. Then he spoke Bhagavad Gita. Aham sarvasya prabhavo, matta sarvam pravartate. Everything comes from me. I am the source of everything. If you understand this, then you become my devotee. Iti matta bhajati mam, Buddha bhava. Of course, you have to be intelligent, Buddha. How something. Then with that intelligence, you serve him. How many verses Krishna says? Matta parataranannat kinchidasti dhananjaya. Nothing is equal or above me. This is like a very bold declaring. Yeah? Mahaprabhu didn't declare anywhere. He's always hiding. He is covered. That's why the world doesn't know. He himself hiding himself. Even Sanatana Goswami Pad, finally conversation in Chaitanya, they can read very nice. Can you tell me the symptom of Supreme God? And then Mahaprabhu explained. I see, that fits you. You are the Supreme. Mahaprabhu said, change the subject. This is not. He never want to be revealed or manifested. That's always hidden. He himself hides. That's why this is one of the main reasons why the world doesn't know him. You follow? Why the world doesn't know him? Because he himself hides. Even in our hometown, we always thought, even in my childhood, I remember my mother used to say, he is just a Messiah, preacher of Krishna. Nobody thought he is a Supreme Lord. I read out, even when I joined Krishna. I was very nice. Jagadeva Maharaj sent me to go Govind Maharaj. He said, you have too many questions, you go there. Was very nice. He satisfied me indirectly such a way that I still feel indebted to him. He passed away. He said, do you think Prabhupada has more intelligence than you? Of course. Why? Well, what he has done is like unbelievable. No human can do it. Geniuses. Then Prabhupada accepted Lord Chaitanya as a Supreme Lord. Why don't you see from that angle? It's such a nice, I thought about it. Wow, that's true. If Prabhupada accepted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Supreme Lord, then obviously he has to be Supreme Lord. So you meditate like that, then it will be revealed. So anyway, this is another. The third question. Do all paths lead to Lord Chaitanya? Yes or no? Mohit, do all paths lead to Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya?
Trick question. Depends how long it takes.
No, but question is, if anybody buy a ticket for anywhere, will it go eventually to the same destination? It's similar. If you really think. Now there is a verse, Adi Lila chapter 4, text 19. Amake to je bhakta bhaje je bhave, tare se bhave bhoji im aur savave. So in whatever transcendental mellow my devotee worship me, I reciprocate with him. This is a tricky question, purposely I put it there. Now I'm going to tell you. You think very deeply. Do all paths leads to same goal? No. Yes. If one knows that same goal. So if everybody understand and comprehend, examine and comprehend what the absolute truth is, then they are all going to them. Going to him. Is it? But problem is most of the people in this world, the follower religion, they are ignorant. They don't have a clear conception of absolute truth. So if one knows that same goal, if karmis, yogis, jnanis, they all know that their ultimate goal is Krishna, then they adopt their path for transitional purposes of elevation and ultimately come to Krishna. Is it? So yes, from that angle, yes. Then all their paths will lead to the same goal. But if the same goal is not clear, if everybody don't have a proper conception of who Lord Chaitanya is, will they reach to Lord Chaitanya? No. Everybody understand that concept. It makes sense. So if the same goal is not clear to the people, they have their own conception of their goal. That's why there is a 13 Upasampradaya. Upasampradaya means they are deviated from the parampara, disciplic succession. They will not reach, they will take. And then somebody just texted me like a couple hours back, he said, is Sahajiya better or Mayavadis are better? We criticize Sahajiyas. We do. Because we don't, if you follow Sahajiya, you'll never achieve Krishna. They are really doing harm. So I said I'm going to mention in the class, you can hear it. So I was thinking about it while we were singing. There's 4 groups in this world. One group, they are attached to Krishna, also attached to sense gratification, matter. I call matter. That matter, whether the body of a girl or a boy is a matter. That matter. They are not attached to the soul, they are attached to the body. Plain language. So you say you are attached to Krishna, you are attached to matter. They are called Sahajis. You are detached from Krishna, detached from the matter. You are Mayavada or impersonalist. They are detached from both. Then you are detached from the matter, attached to Krishna. Good devotee. Very good. So you think like this, then it's easy to reconcile. So what is Sahajiya? They are attached to Krishna, also attached to matter. Mayavadi detached from Krishna, detached from matter. So Sahajiyas are better than Mayavadis. Because at least they are attached to Krishna. If they increase the attachment, then they will be detaching from the matter. But Mayavadi has no chance because they are detached from both. They want to be like, get out of the here, but what are you getting? Nothing. No way. So like that. Okay. All paths are meant to lead us to the same goal, but all paths do not lead us all the way to the same goal. The ultimate goal is to go beyond of this world to the spiritual world, to Krishna's lotus feet. So the path of karma takes us only partially along until where? And then path of jnana takes where? Where do you go if you follow the path? The 4 things you have to do. We have to know this. Bhagavad Gita teaches in 12 chapter, text 3-4. Krishna revealed this. That jnani also they do 4 things. Sometimes you will see some devotee does that. So if you are like very scrutinizing, very fine line, they will say, oh, I have a little bit impersonalist. Do you ever go to temple in front of the deity and say, Hare Krishna, thank you Krishna, who else is here? Hare Baba, you have impersonalist. You could not do it if you really think Krishna is alive here. So we have to be very careful. You follow? We need to really absorb. He's a person. If I come to your house and you open the door, I just pass by and going inside the house, not even talking with you. How do you feel? What's wrong? You think like, She come to temple, Krishna's house, and he's just looking at her like, who else is here? Are I'm here. I'm your object. You're coming here to see me, but you're busy for something else. So you have to be careful. Gyani means how far you can go. Brahman. And the yogis, how far can you go? Viraja, Paramatma. That's it. Bhakta can go to spiritual world. So what our conception, what our goal is, that will lead us. But if all of them, Karmi, Gyani, Yogi and Bhakta, their all goal is ultimately Krishna, then yes, everybody will reach to the same. Make sense? I'm just breaking it down. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's relationship with the four sampradaya. Very nice. This is a very nice question. We need to know. And then why did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took Madhacharya as his sampradaya? That's also important. So Ramanuj Haite Ami Loi Dui Shar Ananda Bhakti Bhakta Jana Seva A. Ramanuj Haite Ami Loi Dui Shar Ananda Bhakti Bhakta Jana Seva. From Ramanuj Sampradaya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took two things. One is Ananda Bhakti, one-pointed devotion to Krishna. And Bhakta Jana Seva, importance of serving the devotees, importance of respecting the sannyasis or senior devotees like that. Importance of serving and respecting Vaishnavis. And I just learned one Sanskrit word. Like in here, sometimes to the ladies we say Prabhu, but actually there is a Sanskrit word. Prabhu is for a man and Prabhi is a female. So it's okay to say mothers, Prabhi.
Govind.
Yeah. It's in the Sanskrit. I looked at it. I was like, wow. So maybe Prabhupada used that. That's why it is proper. It's just that nobody explained me, so I could not understand it. So from Ramanuja Sampradaya, he took two, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What are those? One-pointed devotion to Krishna and importance of serving. You have to make a little note. Always keep those notes. Even in your iPhone, keep those notes. This thing someday will help you a lot. That's how I remember. And then Vishnu Swami, from Vishnu Swami, he took two. Complete submission to Krishna. Complete submission. And Raganuga Bhakti. Spontaneous love. Spontaneous devotion. From Vishnu Swami. Two things. What are those from Vishnu Swami? Complete submission and spontaneous love. Then from Nimbark Sampradaya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took two things. The gopis' love for Krishna is the highest worship. And complete shelter of Srimati Radhika. Wow. These two things from where? Nimbark. And then Madhya Sampradaya. Ek hoy kebol advaita nirashan, Krishna Murti nitya jani tahara sevan. Very sweet. Ultimate defeat of Mayavadism, impersonalism, ultimate defeat. And any service anybody does for the deity is eternal. Even you dress the deity or made a garland for the deity, you have eternal bank balance. Any service to the deity is permanent. It's not temporary like, some good piety. No, it is eternal because the deities are eternal. So, okay, Mahaprabhu took this two. Who remembers? Ramanuja Acharya, we got two. The service and respect to the Vaishnavas and one-pointed or unalloyed devotion. And then from Nimbark, ultimate shelter of Radharani and Gopi's mood. So that's two. And Vishnu Swami, spontaneous Raga Bhakti and Submission to Krishna. Huh? Complete submission. Wow. The brain is now awakening. Very nice and very happy. Very good. And Madhacharya, two things. Ultimate defeat of impersonalism or Mayavad, anything, all. And any service to deity is eternal. So this 8 together, 8, 2 from each, and then he put another to meditate. Achinta Veda Veda. This is a shorter version. There's a vast version, of course. Of course, Madhacharya, he took it because Madhacharya is the only one. What did, who came first? Vishnu Swami, 780. 786, Shankaracharya came. 780, what did Vishnu Swami gave? Vishnu Swami, his philosophy is pure monism. Suddha Advaita. Suddha, pure. Advaita. Can you remember like this? Suddha Advaita, pure monism. Then comes Ramanuj. What does he give? Speciality. Vishishta Advaita. Speciality in monism. So Vishnu Swami gave pure monism and Ramanujacharya gave speciality in monism. And then come Nimbar. Dvaita Advaita. Pure duality in Advaita or non-dual. So all have a one common thing. What are those? Advaita. But Madhacharya is the only one. He did not even mention Advaita. It's a Dvaita, 2 fingers. Any picture you see in Google's, Madhacharya is a 2 finger. So everything is dual. That smash the idea of impersonalism, that we are all one. So what are the 5 eternal difference Madhacharya gave? He also gave highest form of worship is Krishna. Udupi Krishna, famous. There's a chanting Lord from Prajada. 5 eternal difference Madhacharya gave. What are those? One is, there's the eternal difference between the soul and God. Prabhu, you have to remember this. You have to grow with this. There's the eternal difference. Yes, you have to memorize those. Sit down and memorize those. There's the eternal difference between God and you. There's the eternal difference between God and this illusion. There's the eternal difference between me, the soul, and illusion. There's the eternal difference between each soul, between you and me. Never we can become one. There's absolutely no such thing. And there's the eternal difference between each elements of material nature. Everybody got it? 5 eternal difference. That was the Mahaprabhu statement. Very nice. In a shorter version, I'm just squeezing it. But this is a good question. Is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Radha, Krishna, or both? Very nice. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Radha, Krishna, or both? Primarily, he is in the mood of Radha. Although, especially going to Puri, he manifested form of Krishna. He has expansion. In Janmashtami day, in Jagannath Puri, there was a play, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the form of Krishna. Here, there. Sometime. Advaita Acharya, for our sake, he asked Mahaprabhu, who is Gadadhar? Gadadhar. And Gadadhar Pandit was sitting there. Mahaprabhu came back from Gaya. So Advaita Acharya, he was worshipping Vishnu Salagram very nicely. So when, can you imagine, Advaita Acharya, 52 years older than Mahaprabhu, he is the head of the Brahmana. Nobody is as best, like a leader. In America, I don't know, you can compare like this, like a pope, or cardinal or bishop, something, like head of the Brahmana. So everybody respect him, and he is worshipping Vishnu. Then Nimai, Now he is a Bhavuk Nimai. He came from Gaya. He's always thinking of Krishna and fainting, crying for Krishna. So he came to see and he saw the Lord, Salagram, he fainted. Advaita Acharya stopped worshipping God, Krishna, Salagram. He took all the paraphernalia, started worshipping Nimai. Gadadhar Prabhu is, he's a Brahmana, high class Brahmana. He knows what is etiquette. Why is he worshipping this young boy? I mean, what people will be, he is like so bewildered. So Radharani are here. Then, excuse me, what are you doing? You are the head of the Brahmana. Everybody is watching this. So many devotees around. What they will think? You are worshipping God. Now you stop worshipping God. You are worshipping this young boy, Nimai. He fainted. He's crying for Krishna. He said, okay, he's a good devotee. Oh, why you stop worshipping God to worship him? Advaita Acharya, very wonderful. Say, Gadadhar, how long are you going to stay in ignorance? In ignorance. Worshipping the boy instead of God is ignorance. How you put together? Said, I know what I'm doing. And Nimai is unconscious, in ecstasy. Advaita Acharya is worshipping. The devotees are like overwhelmed, bewildered. How is possible? Why he stopped worshipping God and worshipping Nimai? There must be something very strange. So then slowly, Advaita Acharya explained. Soon after that, Advaita Acharya asked Mahaprabhu, please, you have to display universal form. Prabhupada had a few tactics. If somebody says he's God, say, can you show us your universal form, please? Or can you lift up this house? Krishna lift up 28 miles mountain. That's very big, but at least this house you can lift up. Let's see what kind of God you are. So Advaita Acharya does not need for Mahaprabhu to display this for our sake. In future, the doubt. Did ever Mahaprabhu exhibited like he is the all-powerful, omniscient, omnipotent? Yes, he did. There are many pastimes. Even when he was a little baby, he just turned himself, he learned how to turn, little baby. On the side, his mother giving breast milk, she was surprised. Because recently what happened, Nimai just learned how to walk. When he's walking, when you walk, tell me if you see your footprint. I don't see because I have socks. I don't see. But even if I don't have socks, I don't see any footprint. But Nimai's foot was actually making an impression, print, everywhere he's walking. So they're thinking it is not their son. Maybe the God, Supreme God, enter into the child and make this footprint, because this footprint is a God's footprint. All the devotees, we should know this footprint of Krishna. In Vrindavan, do you know all the Brajavashi knows? How do we know? Many pastimes. One pastime is Kaliyas. When Krishna was trapped by the snake Kaliya, and they heard the news that the Gwala mentioned that Kanaya jumped from the tree and he is now wrestling with the snake. They never went there because it's a dangerous place. Nobody ever went there, Brajavashi. But how they know how to go there? Because of the footprint. Krishna everywhere he steps, but all the footprints are preserved. Nobody steps on them. It's not like a footprint everywhere. Now you cannot go out because his footprint everywhere. How are you going to put your feet on top of Krishna's? No, Jogamaya covers it. She controls it. But this fresh footprint, you ever went to the beach? I'm sure. You see the fresh footprint versus old footprint, water washed or other. So they look at the fresh footprint. Oh, this is today. He went, so they all the way they found. So we have to memorize those footprints. Below the big toes, there is a Sudarshan Chakra, then there is a goat. Because I used to meditate, that's how I remember the whole thing. You can sit down and just meditate on this. You can see the perfect. It's necessary. What that will do? Why Chaitanya Charitamrita? Not every devotees are falling in love with Chaitanya Charitamrita because they don't know what the benefit of reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. Just by concentrating on Chaitanya Charitamrita, all your inauspicious karma diminish. Sehi gyenam abbasat gyena dhenam vishishyate. Gyena dhenam vishishyate. If you cannot apply this logic, intelligence in your practice, you cannot meditate. Now, what will happen if you meditate? Dhanat karma phalatega. From dhana, all the karma. Thank you. If you do the meditation, what did I say? If you do the meditation, what will happen? Your bad karma will disappear. Bhagavad Gita 12:12. Sehi gyanam abhasat gyena. Whatever you do, practice. You must use intelligence. Why are you practicing this? What is the benefit? Why am I doing this? Absorption. You have to absorb your intelligence in the practice. And if you do that, then Krishna says, Jnanat karma phalatega. Then all the karma, then you will be able to meditate. And if you meditate, then all your bad stuff will disappear. Then what will happen? You will become peaceful. Peaceful doesn't mean inactive. Try to understand. If somebody is peaceful inside, doesn't mean inactive. Like Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta, they are active. They're like busy, like how aren't they peaceful? Yes, they're peace. But that doesn't mean inactive. Somebody satisfied doesn't mean he has to be like idle. Now he can be active. Krishna is self-satisfied, but he's also active, both. Because he's looking for more pleasure. That's how he creates this. Okay. So that's answered this. As worshipper of Radha Krishna, why do we worship Gornita? There's a vast explanation. 7:30. When did we start? We started at 6:30. So it's almost finished. Okay. I'll just say it in a shorter version, not the longer version. I sometimes translated this Harinam Chintamani Navatin Dham Mahatma. There are some translation, but I have to edit some of this. But also, there's a Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur explained this very nice. Srila Govind Maharaj also explained in his Bank of Separation book about this. So you can read those. But I'll say one very convincing me. Kono bhagye kono jibe shraddha jodi hoy tobe sei jeev dasya rase goranga bhaja. Dasya paripakke jabe jibe hridaye si madhur ras ude murtiman hoy. Se samay bhajaniya tattva gaur hari Radha Krishna rupe hoy braja. Because this question will come. Since we are worshipper of Radha Krishna, why not we worship Gaur? Why worship Gaur-Nitai or Mahaprabhu? So here, very secret revealed. Kono bhagye kono jive shraddha jodi hoy. Somewhere or other, if you have a bhakti unmukhi sukriti. What is bhakti unmukhi sukriti? You give little dollar to the temple Krishna consciousness, or buy some books or something you involve with Krishna consciousness. You follow? You went to buy some bhogo in the shop. They say, oh, you're buying nice stuff. Say, yeah, I'm buying for God. Oh, that's very nice. Just that appreciation, you get a sukriti. Because you're supporting the service to the Lord, pleasing Lord. They are called Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti. When the Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti piles up, Bhaktistu Bhagavad Bhakta Sangena Parijayate Satsanga Prapate Kumbi Sukrite Purva Sanchite. When Sukriti piles up, then you get association of devotees. Bhaktistu Bhagavad Bhakta Sangena Parijayate Satsanga Prapate Kumbi Sukrite Purva Sanchite. Then when you associate with the devotee, then you come to worship Mahaprabhu. Do not worship Mahaprabhu in any rasa, only servant and master. That's all. Don't artificially try anything. Our acharyas never said that. You should not meditate. Mahaprabhu is like a playboy or no. No, he's not a Krishna, acting Krishna. He is Krishna, but he's not acting as Krishna. He is a master and we are servant. And when you serve in that way, then when your service attitude become very pure and service pleasing Mahaprabhu to an extent that Mahaprabhu will take you to Vrindavan and reveal himself as Radha Krishna. you don't need to do separately. Isn't sweet? Isn't easy?
Yeah.
We should just chant loudly Mahaprabhu's name. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is a shorter version. There is a longer version. If anybody need, you can call me later or we can discuss about it. Very nice. Why did Srila Prabhupada, oh, this is the last question, it's almost done. Why did Srila Prabhupada decide to translate Chaitanya Charitamrita? Very nice question. So I heard something from Shesha Prabhu one time, he gave class, very nice. And I was collecting different devotees' view why Prabhupada did that. Because Nagaraj Prabhu also, I was talking to Nagaraj Prabhu, he also mentioned one time that who is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and who is Srila Prabhupada? Srila Prabhupada is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's very near devotee, who actually promoted Mahaprabhu all over the world today. It doesn't matter who is whose disciple, where. They all started Prabhupada Krishna consciousness movement. Now it's all over the world, is expanding. But so Prabhupada is a follower of Mahaprabhu. Obviously, he is the one who carries the mission to present to this world. The most authoritative, definite book of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Chaitanya Charitamrita. You follow? Also, when you read Bhagavatam, you see the quality. We say three things. If you want to identify who is God, go to Bhagavad Gita. Krishna, literally straightforward, straightforward. Bold, not hiding. Bold, straightforward and bold, clear, is claiming who he is. Say, Ahami sarva jagyanam, bhokta cha prabhureva cha. Ahami, 924. He says, I am the enjoyer. If you don't accept this, you will stay in this material world and suffer. Very straightforward. Ahami sarva jagyanam. All you sacrifice for my pleasure. Krishna just very straight, very nice. Chabbantite, the word chabbantite means you will fall down if you don't accept and believe it. Asraddha dhana purusha dharma shasya parantapa aprappamam nivartante mrittu samsara bhatmani. You will stay in this material world, birth, death, old age, disease, if you don't believe this, what I'm trying to say. 9.3, you look at the verse. Krishna boldly says, such a nice, I love those. The whole Bhagavad Gita, you'll be in love. So, if you want to know who is Supreme Absolute Truth, identity, read Bhagavad Gita. If you want to know, okay, this is wonderful. What does he do? No, what is his personality? Like what he cares, how he deals with the, how devotee sees him, how the Acharya sees him, how the great personality, the scripture, how they explain about him, his personalities. Read Bhagavatam. And then if you think like, what the Supreme Absolute Truth think in his mind, read Chaitanya Charitamrita. Very nice. You can literally see why it's gradual progression. Prabhupada says, you graduate after regular academic, then you come to Bhagavatam. It's like a bachelor. And then post-graduate is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So of course, if you ask the question that how, when I become advanced devotee, how Mahaprabhu's advanced devotee, how they led their life, how do you know? When somebody become advanced, how they live their life, how they experience, how they relate with God, how do you know? Bhagavatam does not give as much. Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this is our assumption. Prabhupada felt that whatever is in Bhagavatam, the important verse, all the Bhagavatam important verse, do you know where? What are the important verses of Bhagavatam? In Chaitanya Charitamrita. And it demonstrates how Krishna relates with his devotees and how they reveal their mind. And Mahaprabhu, how he reciprocates. How do you know where you are in your advancement in spiritual path? Chaitanya Charitamrita. So because Srila Prabhupada, this is my opinion, he felt that importance the devotee will be inquiring. As I am progressing, how am I progressing? All this ladder, where you are, GPS, is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's wonderful. That's what one of the main reasons why. Also, will say it's very nice. I just found one. 1968, March 14, New York. Srila Prabhupada write preface, the first preface of Chaitanya Charitamrita on the birthday of Lord Chaitanya, means Guru Purnima Day, in New York. Before accepting sannyas, the renounced order Lord Chaitanya was known as Vishwambar. That's how Prabhupada write. The word Vishwambar refers to one who maintains the entire universe, who leads all living entities. This very same maintainer, leader, appeared as Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya to give humanity these sublime teachings. Lord Chaitanya is the ideal teacher of life, prime necessities. He is the most munificent bestower of love of Krishna. He is the complete deserver of all mercies and good fortune. As confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, and the Upanishad. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. He is not an incarnation of Krishna. We should be very careful. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not an incarnation of Krishna. He is Krishna himself, Radha Krishna together. First chapter, 5th verse. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Ladini Shakrit Asmat Ekatmana Bhuvi Puradeha Vedam Gato. Chaitanya night come, Prakatam Aduna. Now he has appeared here. Prakatam means appeared. Aduna Taddayam Chaikamaptam. Radha Bhavaddhiti Shubhalitam Krishna Surupa. Those verses very clearly says it is Krishna who is Lord Chaitanya, not incarnation of Krishna. Then Prabhupada writes, the last part, everyone can join in his Sankirtan movement. See, this is another thing. Very nice, the way Prabhupada put it. Why people don't know Lord Chaitanya, you know? Because Lord Chaitanya never promoted him. Krishna promoted in Bhagavad Gita. Who is promoting? Himself. Who I am. How I reciprocate with the devotees. You don't believe it? 9.3, he said, you stay here in this world and suffer. That's very straightforward. Nothing hiding. But Mahaprabhu never revealed like this. What did Mahaprabhu reveal? Holy name. If you look at most of the Mahaprabhu's pastimes, he's promoting holy name, not promoting himself. Never promote himself. Most of the time he's hiding. Very rare he did this. Like Ganga Bhakta. One time, when Mahaprabhu was a little young boy, then Sripad Jayapataka Maharaj, he tells this story many times. I love the way he says. He loves the word. You probably heard his lecture. Gauranga! That's how he wakes up the whole audience. It's very sweet. So this devotee is a Ganga Bhakta. He's walking on the Ganges, on the bank of Ganges in Mayapur. So then all of a sudden, he never saw Mother Ganges. He worships all life. Like we worship, but we never converse with the God. Imagine you are in front of the deity and deity start talking. Hey, Mohit, what are you doing? The Lord, yes, I can talk. Really? Like you will be like completely attentive to him. So like this, he saw a big waves in the Ganges. And he's thinking, there's no wind. You know, if you go to the river and the heavy heavy tides, it has to be caused by something, no? But if there's no wind, nothing, everything is peaceful, quiet. But the water in the river is like a heavy crashing. It's like, what's going on? He could not understand. All of a sudden, water just pops and him covered, you know. Then it's like, oh, Mother Ganges. Then all of a sudden, one lady just popped. So beautiful. And he realized that's probably Mother Ganges. She bows. But then he saw she's bowing down to a little boy. She's walking by on them. He's like so surprised. Mother Ganges bowing down to who? Nimai. So he understood that this is Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whose toenail Mother Ganges come. But Nimai told him, do not tell anyone, as long as I'm having this play in this world. Of course, how do we know? When Mahaprabhu left, then this Ganga Bhakta revealed. It was very painful. You would like, can you imagine, you know that God is in this next door, the supreme absolute truth, but you cannot tell the world. How is that? Wow, that's very painful. Unless we have that kind of deep attachment, we cannot understand. So Srila Prabhupada, right? I sincerely hope that by understanding the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, human society will experience a new light of spiritual life, which will open the field of activity for the pure soul. So nice, sweet. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. Any question, comments, or we close or sing some few? We sing some? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Amen.